and our guest joining us again, we have Benjamin Dunn, who is running for the Senate in South Carolina to replace Lindsey Graham on the Republican side. Of course, Lindsey is our current senator over there, and a lot of folks want to have a new one. Even Republicans, and especially Republicans, I believe, in South Carolina want a new one. And we were talking about the VA, and now Benjamin is currently in the reserves. He has served in Afghanistan, and so he's a guy who
he's kind of familiar with
this issue. And he's come out with a plan to transform the Veterans Administration, and it's a darn good one. And we were talking before we went to the break about how it would be a good idea to give veterans a card, just like maybe a Medicare card, or maybe a Medicare card with a supplemental, so that they could get any service they wanted to, anywhere in the country, at any hospital or any doctor they wanted to go to. And that way we would be assured that our men and women who go overseas and who we have made this promise to, that if you'll go and fight our wars for us, and if you'll go and protect freedom for us and for others around the world, when you come back,
you're going to get first-class health care.
You're going to get first-class health care, and that's a bond that we've made with these men and women. And yet we see what's happening with the VA right now, and Lee and I have talked about this a lot. If you want to see what Obamacare is going to look like in a few years, look at what's happening at the VA now. But your plan is to basically have 2 or 3 star generals or admirals or somebody who's got a future still in the military and wants to enhance that future to be in charge.
Somebody with an investment.
Who are invested in the military to be in charge of all these undersecretary positions, right?
Right, and in addition to that, I think it wouldn't be a bad idea to put some more junior level officers maybe into not certainly all, but interspersed throughout the VA, put them in some of the mid-level positions. So again, you don't want to turn it into a military organization, because it's not, but because it's dealing with our veterans and folks who gave so much to defend us, it does sort of impart some of that military drive to get things done and get them done right and get them done quickly. And in addition to that, I do like the notion that it ties the active military a little more closely with the veterans, which I think we're missing now. And the other kind of proposals I had mentioned in the plan were, first of all, that you set up a state-by-state review board that maybe the governor could appoint a member to, the senators or the congressional delegation one way or the other appoint some members to, maybe the American Legion, VFW could appoint members to, and it would sort of be an oversight panel on a state-by-state basis that would review the way that the benefits are administered, and to the extent we have a VA healthcare system, how that system is operating within a given state, and the higher level managers that work in a given state, their performance bonuses are tied to the findings of that board, so that if they're not giving good service to the veterans and the board members are getting complaints, then these folks don't get these performance enhancement bonuses that apparently a lot of these VA managers have been getting at these facilities where veterans have literally been dying as they waited to receive minimal care.
Well, that is a novel idea, to attach performance bonuses to performance.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Really?
Well, the other thing, and I love what you mentioned there about the junior officers, and again, when you have the different undersecretaries, making sure that they're actually part of the military, because you inject into the VA the discipline of the military. You also inject the accountability, which I think is the most important. That's the thing that is lacking in every government agency except the military, because you do have accountability in the military, and you do have a sense of urgency to get the task at hand done, and so you have people who have discipline and who do have accountability, and I think that I really love your idea, but I also think that what we should have is kind of shrink the VA to basically big, maybe some large hospitals dotted around the country where these veterans.
One in each state.
One in each state, maybe.
For sure, maybe a couple.
Where particular injuries that you might get in a war that you wouldn't normally see in civilian life. Very traumatic injuries that these young men and women are coming back with, so that they could be treated there initially. And we know they're getting the finest treatment in the country, in the world, at those places. And then when they're, after they get through with that and they're in rehab or they move out of that system, and it's just a matter of maintenance, then allow them to have a card to go anywhere they want in the country, to any doctor they want to see, to any hospital they want to go to, and just show that card and they get free health care.
Sure, and kind of the third proposal I'd come up with more or less speaks to that, because whatever form that we decide the VA health care system should have, I think it'd be a great idea to have our representatives and senators be a part of it, so that they don't have their separate health care plan, but they're actually on the VA plan. Like, to take, for example, the recent scandal that it really broke out of the VA hospital there in Phoenix. Well, John McCain is one of the senators from Arizona, and while I disagree with John McCain on a whole host of issues, I do think that, he is obviously a veteran himself. He has some horrible service-related disabilities based on his time as a POW in North Vietnam, and I do think that John McCain is someone who is very interested in the well-being of our veterans. But even in his home state, this travesty was allowed to occur. Well, if you put our representatives and our senators on the VA health plan, then if they're actually having to access the health care that our veterans do in the exact same way they do it, then what better form of congressional oversight could you find?
Oh, exactly. And I thought that was a great idea, too. And I read that in your plan, and I think it's a terrific idea.
And have it in that state. Like John McCain, he's got to go to the VA hospital in Phoenix.
Exactly.
Right, exactly. And that way, he knows exactly what the veterans in his state are going through, because he's seeing the exact same thing. And that, to me, just makes a lot of sense. And one of the things I mentioned is, some people might complain that, well, they're supposed to be for veterans. A lot of the folks who serve in the House and Senate have never served in the military. Therefore, are we somehow giving them some benefit to which they are entitled? And if the VA were running the way that it should be, then I would say that yes, that might be an issue. But considering the way it's been run, and considering the fact that we have these war on terror veterans now who are going to be using the VA for decades, I think it's really important that we really tie a really close a knot between Congress and the VA.
And that's a great idea. I think that's a terrific idea. Unfortunately, we're out of time, but I want everybody to go to Ben's website. We'll give it to you when we come back. Stick around.